All right, Pisces, welcome to your monthly Sidereal Astrology forecast for January of 2016. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below because the signs are different. All right, Pisces, so this month kicks off with a lot of retrogrades, a lot of introverted sort of energy or reflection, and starts on the 5th, Mercury retrograde in primarily your 10th house of career. Although it's pretty close to Capricorn, so there might be some indication of shifts with your networks or your groups, maybe thinking more about that. But I think that's going to be more of a concern as the sun shifts in there later in the month. I think the bulk of this retrograde is really reflecting on your career, reflecting on your productive things or your legacy in life, and how you can rehash and redo a lot of these things. So it's great to be open with that. You're going to have a new moon in that 10th house on the 9th. So there are new things, but again, with Mercury retrograde, it's all about being adaptive. And the thing about this new moon too, it's happening very close to Pluto. So there's a lot of transformation, a lot of change happening with your career, public life, or legacy, or productive things, or future-oriented things, which has been the case over many years with Pluto here, but now it becomes much more mundane in the daily level. So be open to change here, as it has been important for you. And the square up to Uranus is signifying that there is this freedom to be yourself, to maybe break free, allow that individualism to shine, and to pursue maybe some of these goals that are more liberating. But keep it all nice and balanced and grounded, because Uranus is, of course, squaring up to Pluto and this new moon. So you want to make sure that you are finding the healthy channel and the healthy approach to that freedom. But there is something definitely there to listen to with that. Now, also early in the month, from the 7th to the 8th, Jupiter goes retrograde. And Jupiter is going retrograde in your 6th house of your daily work, your routine, your regiments, daily activities. And so it's a good time to reflect on this for about the next 5 months. And you'll probably feel this shift here for the rest of January in terms of sort of pause and reflection with those things. Also in regards to you. I mean, this is your ruler. So anytime Jupiter goes retrograde, you guys, it's important for you to have that more introverted, more reflective time. And you'll probably notice that anyways. And even reflect on not only your goals and things like that, which are important to you, even your self-image, but also your career. Okay, and anything on that public level, because Jupiter does rule that 10th house, which is where a lot of this transformation is taking place. But anyways, the key with all this is that's all about you learning more about your diet, your routine, your time management, energy management, your work, and how it can expand there and what's possible with that. So now you can go introverted, you can see what's possible and actualize it, because this has been a big area of focus for you for the past roughly 6 months with your ruler in that 6th. Now, on the 9th, with that new moon, we do have Venus going over Saturn. So there is this seriousness, I think, that has been important with philosophy or your life path, really grounding your life path, maybe things relating to studying or wisdom or travel for some of you. But with Venus, it tends to lighten it up. And I think you can really enjoy this month, those things, all the way up until the 23rd. And with this conjunction, though, around the 9th, there is that balance, I think, just natural integration where you can work hard towards these more expansive areas of life, but also enjoy them in the process, which is Venus. And Venus does rule your 3rd house of communication, so be open to taking that stuff seriously around the 9th, which I think you naturally will be, and you could be seeing some new beginnings with your communication, and also what's really meaningful to you in life as well, since she rules your 8th. Now on the 18th, Mars trines up to your modern day ruler Neptune. So you guys could be feeling quite motivated here, middle part of the month, with Mars trining your ruler. And so this is maybe to work behind the scenes to get that spiritual alone time, but maybe it's big part of it's probably with relationships. Mars has been transiting your 7th house of Virgo. So there's a lot of this drive, a lot of this ambition to connect or to work with partnerships or to assert yourself through relationships, maybe leadership roles. And so you can find all that easy going where it has been kind of clunky for the past couple months with Mars, and not the best sign of Virgo and an enemy sign. But with this triumph to Neptune, you could find that a lot easy going, at least in contrast here around the 18th. And maybe even with the financial material stuff and also the more philosophical stuff. Mars rules your 2nd and your 9th. Now on the 21st, the sun goes into Capricorn. So here's where I think the shift is going to be more towards with the groups, the networks, friends, your ideals going into February. So these last couple weeks of the month, there's a lot of attention and energy you can gain by connecting with, things larger than self, essentially. And I think it's a good area of focus for you, but I think it'll just be very natural. Now on the 22nd, Mercury goes over Pluto for the second time during that retrograde. So with all these things that you're rehashing or rethinking about in regards to your career or public stuff or legacy or productive things, this is where things might click, or there's something changing, or some more information comes to light. And so from the 22nd to the 25th, apply this shift, this understanding, and then Mercury goes direct on the 25th. So from the 25th, it's time to start implementing a lot of these things you've learned this month from the 5th through the 25th during this retrograde. So pretty much this whole part of the month. And then from the 25th to the 30th, applying that, because on the 30th, Mercury goes over Pluto. And that's going to be a time where you can really draw that line in the sand. You can say, okay, this is what I'm doing. There's more clarity to it. And you can make that change, whatever that change might be. Okay, so being open to change is always the emphasis with Pluto. And always remembering to have non-attachment, because things always change in the way we least suspect. So it's important that we're non-attached to any particular personal, often ego, perspectives or attachments to those areas. Now on the 23rd, we do have a full moon in Cancer, so there could be a culmination, in fact, with your self-expression this later part of the month. Anything you've been involved with over the past 6 months, with creativity, children, romance, playfulness, entrepreneurship, whatever it is that you've either created or you're interested in, hobbies perhaps, could be coming to an awareness, possibly a culmination, but definitely an awareness. For a lot of you, you can really see what you're interested in, see what your passions are in life, and how to channel that energy into the other areas, because it will be heightened on the 23rd. But be patient with it. It will be squaring up to Mars, and be very patient with those relationships, with the financial material stuff, and the philosophical stuff, the life path, wisdom. Now, also on the 23rd, Venus goes into Sagittarius, so there's a lot of enjoyment to be had, actually, going into February with your career. And I think it's as a result of a lot of these things changing, these more productive things. So here there's a lot more of that, maybe relationships through the career, maybe you're just enjoying them more, and seeing how you can, at this point, apply this transformed you in many ways, or at least this transformed perspective. Maybe it was transformations with relationships, since Mercury rules your 4th. Maybe it was transformation with home and family. That's the thing. Every time Mercury goes retrograde, it's a great time to reflect on relationships and your personal life and your health as well. Rehash those areas, because he rules your 4th and 7th. But transformation's there. Be open to change in those areas, along with career. Now, also on the 23rd, that's when your traditional ruler, Jupiter, goes over the North Node and goes into that 6th house. So where there has been, well, Jupiter's already in the 6th, but your North Node goes into that 6th. So there has been a lot of expansion, and I think wisdom about work, routine, management, like self-improvement kind of stuff. There's this whole shift now, this later part of the month going into the rest of the year and for the next 2 years, towards you putting in that conscious energy towards getting your self-improvement in order, the routine, the daily stuff. And that's a great area of focus. There's a lot of positive energy, especially around the 23rd, a lot of wisdom at the very least that you are gaining, and a big shift in your path in general, because it is your ruler. So a lot of you are going to feel that, generally in your life, and you. It's quite significant, in fact. Maybe even a new direction with your career as well. All right, and the extent, of course, does depend on your personal charts, but at least to some degree, or your productive things. So that's the 23rd, and then on the 27th, we do have Mars going into Libra, which is a neutral placement, but better than his enemy sign of Virgo. So there is energy, I think, to connect to what's really meaningful to you in life. Deeper relationships, deeper connections. Ask yourself what your deeper values are, since Mars rules your 2nd. Deeper values about life, since Mars rules your 9th. Your life path getting deeper. So a good place of energy and momentum to put towards those really meaningful things going into February. All right, Pisces, so have a great month. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.